Hey everyone, my name is Rita Garrity and welcome to the Anza MPS mindfulness slash stress resistance slash stress resilience classes, right? Series. So I'm hoping to be able to share with you some skills and understandings that will help you in not just in your math class with your fear of math, if you have it, but in life, right? And I'm going for resilience here because life can be hard, right? I wish somebody would have told me that when I was younger, because I really thought I was struggling and things were hard because I was doing something wrong. But in fact, life can really come down on us, right? And so it's best if we have the skills to manage what's going on. Yeah. So I'm hoping to be able to share that with you. Okay, so I want to start with a practice first. And before we get started, I want to say that anything I ask you to do in this series is an invitation. It's not a have to, because we're going to be kind of checking in what's going on in here. And if we find out that something is feeling even threatening, right? If it's uncomfortable, I'd say stay with it. But if it feels almost threatening and your nervous system is saying, I don't like this at all, I want you to be able to have options. I'll give you options, but also so you don't have to do it. But again, we want to trust your nervous system and honor what it's saying, but we also want to give it a college try, right? Because if we work with a little bit of discomfort, that's where the growth happens. So I'm going to leave it up to you and your nervous system, but just know that the instructions I give are all invitations, and I will give alternatives. So it's not it's so that you have options. Okay. Okay. And I'll remind you often through that, hopefully. Okay, so let's start by actually just getting comfortable. So I'm going to ask you to, position your body to a really comfortable stance. Yeah. So if you're sitting, you need to lean back or put your feet up. I'm standing, so I'm just going to kind of, straighten myself out here. You could lie down on your couch or your bed. So we're already beginning with like going inside, checking out. Are we comfortable? Yeah. So I'll ask you one more time. Are you comfortable? Can you get a little more comfortable? So go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I invite you to just begin to look around your environment, your room, or if you're outside, wherever you are. This is called orienting. So what we do is we allow our eyes to just sort of slowly guide our head to where they want to go. And see, we're kind of asking inside, hey, eyes that are connected to our nervous system, what do you want to look at? And so not a fast, jerky movement, but just kind of slowly letting your eyes go where they feel they'd like to next. And at some point you might find that they actually kind of stop at something that's either pleasant, maybe because the way the light falls on it, or because it's a graphic that's interesting, or, it's a nice view out the window, or because it's neutral, like, oh, I can rest my eyes there. So when your eyes find this sort of maybe pleasant, maybe neutral thing, allow them to just rest there. Have a low gaze. And bring your attention to what it is they were stopped for. If it's a color, And as you do this, see if you can check in with your body or how that feels to just kind of rest in this gaze of noticing what's pleasant or neutral. Is there anything happening in the body as you just notice what your eyes wanted to look at? Okay, so from here, I'm going to ask you, invite you to close your eyes if it feels comfortable. And if not, keep looking at that pleasant thing or have a low gaze just in front of you. And now bring your attention to the sensation of your body sitting. More specifically to the contact points of your body to what's holding you up. So you know your back is maybe against the chair. You can feel that contact point. Maybe it's firm. You can feel your butt on the seat of the chair or the couch. Maybe it's soft. If you're lying down, your whole back of your body is touching, right? It might be warm. So just sensing into that sensation of the contact points. And notice that you're actually being supported, right? That chair or that couch or that floor is actually holding you up. And see if you can actually sink into that support and let the chair, couch, floor do the work, do more work. You do less work. Let your body do less work. And again, noticing as you do that, what's going on in your body. You're feeling that contact point or those contact points. There might be a few. So from here, I'm going to invite you to just notice what else do you notice? See what else you notice. You might notice some sounds. Maybe you notice you took a deep breath. Maybe you have racing thoughts right now. Maybe you really enjoy the quiet, the moment to rest. Maybe it's making you a little anxious. Again, if it at any point begins to feel threatening, you can just open your eyes and look around and then gently come back. When you feel a little settled, come back to the sensation of the chair holding you. But if you haven't done that, just continue to notice what's happening in this experience. Again, thoughts or sensations, just track it all with your attention. There's nothing you need to do about it. You might even feel like the urge to get up, but let's just notice that you don't have to get up right now. But you notice the urge, or you might feel sleepy or hungry. Just noticing the sensations, the experience. Okay. So now whatever you're noticing right now, I want you to kind of direct your attention back to the sensation of your body sitting, right? Feeling yourself being supported, noticing those contact points. And as I talk, becoming more aware of my voice, allowing yourself to kind of notice the sounds in the room, Notice the sensations in the room. And sort of when you feel ready, go ahead and open your eyes, come back to the screen. Okay, so allow yourself to stretch if you want, you know, looking around. I get one more minute to notice, like, how is that? What do you feel in your body right now as opposed to when you started? And it could be anything. It could be like, man, I didn't like that at all. I feel more nervous. I feel really chill. I need to go to bed now, go to sleep. And sorry if you're in the middle of class. But what do we notice, right? Okay, so I'm going to explain to you what we're doing and kind of what just happened. And I'm going to do that by sharing my screen. Okay, so I want to point out to you and get you to believe this, that your attention is your superpower. So basically where you put your attention, it kind of directs your life. They say where attention goes, energy flows. So if you're paying attention to, happy things or things that move you ahead, you're going to move ahead. If you're paying attention to scary things, you're going to be scary. So where you put your attention is really what directs your life, right? So your attention is pretty important. It is your superpower. Even though it's a superpower, though, I have to say that it has some weaknesses. And so we want to know those so we can work with our superpower, right? One is that you have a limited supply. So again, we're going to be noticing, like, where is our attention going? Because I don't want it all to go on those scary Netflix shows. And I say that because that's kind of where I put some of mine. Especially if I've spent the whole day watching the news, getting myself scared, maybe I need to move my attention to something more pleasant, right? Your attention can get easily hijacked by the survival brain. And we'll talk more about the survival brain. There's different parts of the brain that work, but the survival brain is the thing that's kept us alive all these millions of years or how long we've been here. And if it decides that something is a threat, like your math test tomorrow, it will hijack your attention. So you're trying to go to sleep, or you're trying to do homework, or you're trying to listen to somebody in a conversation, and all of a sudden you just can't stop thinking about that math test tomorrow, or that scary interview tomorrow, or whatever it is, right? That's because the survival brain has decided this could be threatening, so I want you to pay attention to it, right? The thing is that we can work with that and move our attention, but it takes practice. And that's what we're going to be doing in this class. We're going to be learning how to manage our attention. We're going to move it many times, as you saw that we did in this practice. We actually had it on our site. We checked in, how did that feel, attention of how we felt. Then we had it on the contact points. We noted, what did we notice? So we were working with our attention and moving it. And in the beginning, it's kind of clunky, right? If we're not used to it, right? Because we're used to like having our attention pulled in many different directions. But when we practice, our attention muscle gets stronger. Just like any other muscle in the body, our attention muscle gets stronger, and we can move it away from being hijacked when it gets hijacked. So I'm going to tell you the definition of mindfulness, which is basically what we're doing in this class. So it's kind of 3 points. It's paying attention, which we've already talked about, to our present moment experience, and then without judging it. So let's break down the last 2. So our present moment experience is what's happening right now. So just as what we did in that practice was we paid attention to our present moment experience. We saw some things, you might have heard some things. We had the sensations of the body and the chair, or maybe you had other sensations, some aches, or you felt breeze because you had a window open. Moods and emotions are present moment experiences. So maybe you felt nervous about this, or you felt relaxed, or, but any emotion, or, anger, fear, all that is present moment experience, happens in the present moment. And then we think all the time. We're thinking, our brain, different parts of our brain are thinking. And so that's happening. So there's many present things we can pay attention to in the present moment experience. And depending on what we pay attention to, again, where we put our superpower is how we can manage what's going on inside of our body. So these present moment experiences can be either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. So, aches and pains, probably unpleasant. Yeah. Breeze on the face on a warm day, pleasant. My feet on the ground, neutral, right? Okay. They can also get difficult and or overwhelming. And that's, again, where the survival brain decides to hijack. Right? So we want to know how to work with difficult and overwhelming so that less likely to get hijacked. Okay. And we'll talk so much more about this. And then we talked about, so present moment experience, paying attention to our present moment experience without judging it. And so what does that mean? So without judging it, so we judge a lot, right? And that's appropriate. That makes sense. So we need to know if the 2-week-old milk in the fridge is okay to still, we smell it, right? Is it okay to still drink? Or if we can cross the street, that car, how far away is that? Can I make it across the street? Or should I do a little more homework? Or do I think I got the exam tomorrow? Should I study a little more, or I think I'm good? We're always making judgments. Those are like assessments though. The kind of judgments I'm talking about is deciding that any one of those experiences we talked about was either good or bad. Because what happens is if you set up kind of a struggle, if you decide that a present moment experience is either good or bad, you're setting up a struggle in your nervous system. And now you've added stress, right? And our whole thing is like stress reduction, right? We want to know. So if we understand that, okay, I got a back, or yeah, I'm worried about my math class, right? I'm not doing great. So but I should be doing good and I can't ask for help. You're setting up this big struggle with your experience. Now I'm afraid and I can't go to sleep, and you don't want any of that to happen, right? If you're thinking that that's good or bad, instead of thinking, oh, that's an experience. Look at, I'm feeling nervous, or I'm feeling tired. Sometimes like I'm tired. And so I shouldn't be tired because I need to be awake for work, right? Fighting with tired is just going to set up extra stress. This tired is tired. And so if we can just not judge it, we kind of get rid of that stress. But just know we will judge, because that's what we do. But we're going to practice not judging. And how do we do that? We notice an experience in a kind and curious way. So instead of saying, I'm tired, it's terrible, and now I won't be able to work all day, and it's just going to be horrible. Okay, well, let me check into tired. What is that? I'm curious about tired. So it feels a little heavy in my brain. And I notice I'm worried about that exam. And what is worry like? It's like, okay, it's making my heart pound a little bit. And again, and when it's difficult, like worried or tired, and when you need to work, you bring in the kindness. Like, I'm really sorry that I'm sad. Sad is not the right. I have compassion for the fact that I feel scared in this moment, right? I have compassion for the fact that I'm tired and I have to go to work. Again, what it does is switches the struggle of not wanting this to be to like compassion, to a response of compassion, which registers in the body as less stress. So one is that you're not fighting the experience, less stress. And if it's a difficult experience, you're attending to it with kindness, and that's less stress, okay? So I know it's a little complicated right here, but if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask me, and we're going to talk a lot more about this in the coming weeks. So I do want to give you, this is my information. If you didn't get the intro video, Rita Garrity, rgarrityhhd@yahoo.com. say you're a De Anza student, so I'll pay attention. So I'll put my attention, right? Because I put my attention on the De Anza students, use my superpower for you guys. And then mindfullifeguide.com is my website, which you could see like how I got certified and my story, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm looking at the time. Okay, so thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you. Of course, I'm not going to see you, but I hope that you see the next videos, and I look forward to doing them, for you and seeing how it goes. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.